Hey, Kansas City, I'm back, and it's time for Speak Up. I am so excited today because today on Speak Up, we have a state representative. His name is Michael Johnson, and he represents District 23 in the state of Missouri. And Michael Johnson is no newbie to Kansas City. This is his place of origin. He grew up here. He went through ROTC. He's a military man. And his other life, he's an insurance agent. And we're going to talk about a lot of things. But, you know, first and foremost, on Speak Up, we'd like to talk about what is going on in the House of Representatives, what's going on in our state, our city, our county, and then we look federally. So right now we're going to talk to Michael about the initiatives that he's been working on. We're going to find out who he is first. Who is Michael Johnson? How many people know him? So without further ado, I want to say thank you, Michael, for coming on the show, for being so gracious as to say, yes, we're going to have a one-on-one, free-for-all. This is really a free-for-all. There's no script to this. We're just going to talk. So right now, I just want you to tell us, who are you?
Well, Missouri State Representative Michael Johnson. I represent the 23rd District, and as you stated, born and bred. And I've never really, since I've stayed in Kansas City, I've never stayed outside of the 23rd District.
Wow.
So when you say it's home, it most definitely is that. Went to Northeast High School, graduated from there. I actually went to 4 high schools. And I don't mind sharing that information.
Okay, go ahead.
That I've gotten. So, and I've never transferred during the high school year. So I started school my freshman year at Central, my sophomore year at Lincoln, my junior year at Paseo, and I graduated on time at Northeast Military Magnet High School.
Okay, so was it the movement, because you know it's that's kind of almost normal in our urban core for our kids to get moved around throughout their educational time, and I know that there was a period of time that the schools had specifics or intentional studies.
Right.
And so
Yes.
was it because of the different intentional studies, or?
And Kim, I basically took it upon myself because,
Oh, wow.
yes,
Yeah.
of knowing that those intentional studies were there. So I wanted to have that different experience. So it was solely up to me, and I had an opportunity as a young man to be able to make those decisions. And I wouldn't change it for the world. I wouldn't recommend it necessarily for everyone's children. Right. But I basically was not moved around, stayed in the same house for the whole period of my tenure of high school.
Okay.
And just decided that I wanted that experience.
That's wonderful. So after high school, you went into the military.
Yes.
So you did a term in the Army.
Yes, ma'am.
Am I right? And how long were you in the Army?
4 years.
4 years.
Yes.
Thank you for serving.
Well,
That's always special. You know, people know me, know that military is near and dear to my heart. I don't care what branch you're in. When you're representing the USA, you're representing us.
Yes.
And being an African American, as they say, or Black, because for me it's Black.
Yes.
You fight for your community.
Most definitely.
So
it was a great. I needed it.
Yeah.
And once again, that was a decision that I made. I had an opportunity to go to college right after high school.
Right.
As a lot of us do, but I took it upon myself, and I told myself as an only child I needed some more discipline.
Right, I bet you did.
Right, so
I bet you did.
So I took it upon myself to enlist after ROTC and to go into the military, and I had a wonderful experience along that journey because I was stationed that full time in Germany.
Wow.
And I loved it. I loved it. Yeah.
Yeah, you're not the first person that I met, especially male person, that was stationed in Germany and loved Germany.
Oh yeah.
They said it was really a.
I went back several times after I gotten out of the service.
Wow. Yeah, I hear they're pretty inclusive.
Very.
So yeah.
Yes.
So let's talk about Missouri and why did you even run for the position of state representative? I mean, you are obviously a successful insurance agent. You didn't need to run for it. It was something that you chose to do as you did when you went through high school.
Right.
What was your motivation?
Okay. Honestly, I had gotten off work and I basically had told myself, I've always been engaged in the community in trying to give back or do things different block parties, back to school activities, just anything dealing with the youth. It seemed as if though I always had a passion to try to help. And in the process, I literally got off work and I said, God, I want to do more for my community.
Wow.
And 10 minutes later, my phone rang. And it was some of my family members who are in this realm of politics that asked me to, and within 10 minutes of me speaking
to God, God said, okay, I got something for you.
God said, I got something for you. And that's what took place. I said, I told my family members, and it happened to be 3 women on the phone. and they asked me, and they said, and I said, let me pray about it.
Yeah.
And after I prayed about it, I told them I'll give them a call tomorrow.
Yeah.
But I ended up calling back the same day, and they took me to file to run for state representative the next day.
Wow. So just so that people know, you are the nephew of the late Charles Hasley.
Yes.
And so politics is kind of in your blood.
Yes.
And community is in your blood. And not just the ideal of being in politics, but the desire to work in your community and to bring impactful. So, and that kind of segues into one of your sponsored bills. So in the state, in the House, there was a bill that you sponsored, which was HB 774.
Yes.
And I think it had something to do with broadband. Why did you really get involved in that?
I understood the significance in this, of broadband and how it is now such a necessity. So I actually had a very genuine story of something that happened. I was driving the winter of 2019. I was driving on my way to go do some insurance, and I seen a young man and a young lady in the winter, in the snow, at the high school steps trying to get Wi-Fi to do their work outside in inclement weather. I was touched by that. I asked them how long they had been out there, and they said not long. And so I went and bought them a hotspot. And I came back, and to this day, they're going on to college now. But up until now, I'm still in touch with them, and we now have a relationship, and I've taken it upon myself to make sure that they have the motivation and they have the positive inspiration as far as moving forward and gathering the opportunity to get their degree. So that really started it. And then from there, I dove even deeper into it. I started doing research about it. And from there, then I had an opportunity to hook up with Mr. William Wells and Mr. Chester Thompson, who are amazing with the STEAM Village. And it really helped that they had the kids involved, and that just took it to another level for me.
Right.
Because I'm all about our youth and about their future.
Right.
Yes.
So, and I'm glad that we're talking about the broadband and internet accessibility. One of the big issues that has always plagued our schools is that we are always behind the 8 ball. Yeah. We're always lacking in something that takes us to the next level. Yeah. So whether it's books, I know at one time it was books. We had the old books instead of the new books. But today, without access to the internet, we're just really lost educationally.
Right.
The crazy thing is I had a conversation with a person. I work with William and Chester. I'm a big supporter. I work with Tammy Buckner.
Yes.
I work with anybody that's trying to do anything with our children when it comes to the internet. So, we do have several programs that are out there, but they can't handle the magnitude that we need. So we do need to get our schools up to standards and our households up to standards. But when I look at, I had a conversation with a gentleman, and I was talking to him about broadband and the need for our community. And they were like, well, all these kids have telephones. What do they need broadband for? They have phones. And it really blew my mind that you would think so little of the household. So do the kids in the suburbs.
Yes.
They have phones.
Mm-hmm.
But to do my homework, to sit down and do my homework, I can't do it on a cell phone.
Correct.
I can't do the work that I need to do on my cell phone, can create a document. All of that's got to be done. And regardless, access to the internet is essential to everyday life, even
Yes.
if you're not in school.
That's right.
Even if you're not in school. So this initiative that you have embarked up on, where are we on that? How are we looking?
Okay, so the bill did pass.
Go
It was with SB 820, Senator Burleson's bill.
Okay.
And I had language in the omnibus part of that bill, which basically states that considering that this is a state of emergency, because we still are in a pandemic,
Yes.
that it changes the narrative, because with it being a state of emergency, it would be unconstitutional for us not to move
Yes.
forward in a state of emergency
Yeah.
to get these things done.
Yeah.
So my language in the bill is that we service immediately unserved and underserved inner city communities as well as rural areas.
Yeah.
Okay, because I think it's important for us not to forget about those rural areas
Oh,
throughout
absolutely.
Missouri as well.
Yeah.
And these are the two main demographics that are hit the most.
Yeah.
The inner city communities and the rural areas. And with such a digital divide in those areas, it's hard for anyone to get anything done.
Yeah.
This is such a necessity we can't educate our children without it. We can't educate our adults without it.
Right.
We cannot get jobs. We can't check in on our loved ones, say for instance, if they're in a nursing home. And with the pandemic still going
Yeah.
about, we're not allowed in these places. We still need accessibility to be able to check up on our loved ones as well. So I think that it's just very dire at this point. And also, Kim, this is historic for Missouri.
Yeah.
This is bigger than a lot of people may realize,
Yeah.
because not only are we in a state of emergency, but we may not ever get this chance again. That
Absolutely.
part, especially
Absolutely.
people
So
that are underneath or behind that 8 ball.
yeah. So that brings me to funding.
Okay.
Because so we're talking, this is a huge initiative.
Yes.
And funding is always the hold up.
Yeah.
You know, we can get a bill passed and we can say we're going to do this, but getting the money in the right hands, in the right places at the right time to get this done, it's going to prove to be a challenge.
Yes.
We're looking at, I know that there has been a launch for the initiative for the 3rd district.
Correct.
In Kansas City, Missouri. But right bumping next to the 3rd is the 5th district that is, if not more, at least equal in need
Right.
of this access.
Yes, I would state that the 3rd district and the 5th district would be the
High priority.
high priorities
Yeah.
as far as that's concerned. So that's why we've said we want to go from unserved to underserved.
Underserved, yeah.
Yeah, so that we reach the masses of those that are without.
Yeah,
Period. We
yeah.
need to get them on board first, and we need to be able to show that diversity and inclusion in the
Yes,
process of
yes,
doing it.
yeah.
Because, and we also, in the process of doing that, we have to make sure that our seniors are okay as well.
Oh, absolutely.
So there are some
Absolutely.
programs that are going on now. City Councilwoman Melissa Robinson is helping spearhead one of those, and it's about just computer literacy and internet and broadband literacy for our seniors as well. A lot of them get taken advantage of, and a lot of times they just want to watch one show.
Right,
All right, they want to watch their soap opera or their game show.
right.
And in doing so, these cable carriers,
Come
and these
in and-
providers, they come in and they offer these packages. And these packages
Or astronomical.
yeah, it's just too much. It's too much
They're
for
astronomical, yeah.
our
Yeah,
seniors to be
yeah.
paying that type of money,
Yeah.
and they're on a fixed income.
Yeah.
And when you're on a set income like that, you know, every dollar counts,
Yes.
down to the penny. So if we could get our seniors up to speed, and we are going around the 3rd district trying to make that happen now. And there is a program where they can get their internet for $30 a month.
Yeah.
So we want to push those initiatives, get everybody up to speed so that we can have we can make sure that we're on the same page moving
Yeah.
forward, because this isn't going anywhere.
Right.
The digital age is now and into our future, and our kids sit at the forefront of that.
You know, and that's a great initiative, because even what the pandemic did to us, that it put us back in our households. And at my church, and I always brag about, and God, please forgive me for saying brag, but I'm grateful that we went strictly virtual
Yeah.
for
Yes.
almost, we're just now really getting back to in person, and we're still practicing social distancing,
Yes.
masking, you have to be masked, the whole works.
Yeah.
However, we lost not one member to COVID. Now, we had members that passed, some of our older members passed, but it was due to other things. We had not lost one member to COVID.
Such a blessing.
And so, but the key was the virtual aspect.
Yeah.
And so we had some members who had family members, our older members who had family members that would go over and get them set up for church
Yes.
every Sunday.
Yes.
And so this is important, especially for our senior members, to be able to stay in their homes
Yes.
or stay in place and still be able to participate in service.
Yes.
So kudos to Melissa for her vision and for her work, and for you and your vision.
Thank you.
So I'm going to kind of segue, because part of this is also about our ecosystem and building in our community, how important it is to rebuild the village.
Yes.
Very
important.
My very second show, I had Imam and Pastor on here, and the Imam said to me, we were talking about ecosystem, and he said, okay, language is always going to be important. And in our community, ecosystem is not a word we normally use. We
Right.
use village.
Village.
So it's important that we rebuild our village. And in building that, we have to touch everything.
Yes.
However, a small business cannot survive without good housing, good education,
Glad you mentioned that.
good laborers, other small businesses, the economic development.
Yes.
I mean, all of this the dots have to be connected. We need to be talking and working together. So, and you and I have had conversations.
Yes.
This isn't new for you and I. Tell me some of the things that you're doing to just assist small businesses.
Okay, well, we do have a bill that allows for tax breaks and a tax savings for new businesses. So before I get into it, I want to tell you why I came up with it and the importance of it. So it's one piece of legislation that has kind of two parts to it. So we see a lot of times when our black businesses start up and they're gone in a short period of time.
Yeah.
So the sustainability isn't there.
Yeah.
And so we have to look at why is that? And I think that a lot of it depends on businesses that are already open. So I think that every small business should adopt a new startup small business.
Wow.
So and in doing that, they don't incur any of the obstacles or hurdles that business that was already there went through.
Right.
So it's a process that will smooth out your journey and your path to your business growing. So I think that that's very key and important. Another thing that goes along with that is the fact that, of course, we've all heard of baby showers.
Yeah.
We have to have business showers.
Wow.
We have to have, this is very, very important.
Yeah.
The key to a business shower, if neighboring businesses come to that, to the help of that new upstart business,
Yeah.
even if they're grand opening, they have everything that they need. If you supply them with more than enough of the resources that they need, now we're talking about sustainability.
Right.
Because now if we have a brick and mortar and it needs a little work done, and there's no money to grasp from with the startup business, if each business puts 2% of their annual earnings in their annual profit into an account,
Yeah.
then what they can have is that 2% will grow the rest of those businesses, because then they don't have to necessarily wait on the city, the county, the state, or the government for a grant or for a loan or of any type to be able to be successful in their business. This what we already had. We plant our own seeds.
Yeah.
We'll water them ourselves, and
Yeah.
we can blossom as businesses together.
Wow. So did y'all hear that? So you know that Michael and I are getting ready to partner on our first business shower. So look out and get ready. So, I mean, that just blew my mind. I got stuck on business shower. I was like, wow, that's brilliant.
Yeah.
And it is about investing within.
Yes.
I think that's been a big problem with our rebuilding or our building our village back.
Yes.
Because we always invested in ourselves. And we stopped investing in ourselves and started looking for somebody else to invest in us.
Right.
And
so because you made a statement that the importance of, we can't have the third district where we are just keeping everyone on the same necessarily level. So what I mean by that is you have to have people with different backgrounds and wages.
Yeah.
Because if we are living in an area that we consider affordable, and I don't like the word because it reminds me of low income.
Yeah.
I like attainable.
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And because then they say, well, I can do that too. My neighbor's doing it. So you look at it as a personal affirmation. Your neighbor is at a certain wage, and his family live a certain lifestyle. But when I see my neighbor cut the grass, and I don't have a lawnmower, at least I will ask him, can I borrow your lawnmower? I'll pay for the gas and the oil or whatever's needed, so that we can have curb appeal and area beautification.
Right.
Just like you, I'm not going to bring your property value down or make it look a certain way. And then when you get this type of mindset, then you change the narrative for people who can say, this is attainable. I can do this.
Right.
And I think that that's so important, especially moving forward. Our children are in a position to where they see things that, especially the ones that are engaged.
Yeah.
Then they can say, you know what, we can do this. And not only can we do it, now we have an opportunity to kind of tweak it and do it our way.
Right.
And I think that it's very important, especially like with William Wells, Esteem Village, and the Red Tails.
Yeah.
They're doing jobs that already could pay $60,000 to $75,000 a year.
Yeah.
So that already changes their mindset.
Yeah.
And in changing their mindset, it's still grassroots. They go and talk to other kids their age about this.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and,
absolutely.
And so just that conversation alone becomes an opportunity to recruit. And one thing that I always like to say, Kim, is we don't have to have a scheduled appointment to have an appointment.
Yeah. There's two you and I are on the same page. One, I don't like the word affordable.
Yeah.
It does not inspire to do more, do better.
Right.
You're saying that I can never be more than, that I need to develop low income and continue the cycle of low income instead of raising the value and the opportunity for me to do better.
Correct.
And then I have to want to do better.
I have to want to.
So that's one of the things. And another thing I don't care for is programs.
Yeah.
We program ourselves to death. We're programmed to be programmed. And
I'm glad you said that, because it's a big thing with me, and this is what I say about it. My little mantra is that we have to deprogram in order to reprogram. But it should be done. People have to know who they are.
Yes.
It's important to know thyself. And once you figure you out, then you'll have like-minded individuals around you.
Absolutely.
And that's what will grow.
Yeah.
And I think that that's big too, because we're caught up a lot of times on, especially with our youth, test scores.
Yeah.
We need to test growth as
Thank
well.
you.
We need to test growth.
Thank you.
You know, I think that that's very important as well.
And I want to clarify when I said programs, there are programs that are impactful. A STEM village. There is a STEAM village. There is We Code. I mean, there are programs that are actually impactful in the development or the growth. When I say programs, I say that we have set up this program for that program for this program. You need to go through this literacy program. You need to go through this program for this. But where is all these programs? Where does the path lead you?
Exactly.
And if it doesn't lead you anywhere, You just got a certificate, and I went through this program.
Right.
We're programming to program.
Exactly. And I agree with you, because what happens is, especially here, and I want to say in Kansas City, that a lot of times these programs or different entities are pitted against one another, even the churches. And it's so much division.
Yeah.
And when we are trying to preach, bring everything together and teach that we need unity and solidarity, when there's division and so much of it, that we can't get anything done. One business should, or whatever entity or non-for-profit, regardless of what it is, when there's a grant or monies that are available, then whoever gets it, okay, once they get it, everybody else should come help them.
Yeah.
And then when the next group gets it, then they should come over and help as well. We have to be reciprocal.
Yes.
If we're not able to reciprocate,
That's
then
right.
we can't have any unity or solidarity.
Right. That's right. I think, and that's been a great initiative on their part, on the part of the establishment, to keep us apart, because we can come up with every excuse, and our biggest excuse is historically they have. But when are we going to say you can't direct or guide or define how we do our business?
Right.
We will come together and we will succeed together.
So that's a perfect analogy, because I use this term, getting the no's out the way.
Yes.
Those that don't get it, we don't need to have these conversations with them. We need like-minded individuals in the room. And the no's are telling themselves. They'll say stuff like, well, how come, or why not? Or you sure that's going to work? Things, and then their body language changes. And those are the people that we won't have in the next meeting. Okay, because we need that positive energy. Right. Because if you're the brightest bulb in the room, it's time to go to a different room.
Ooh, that was my daddy's favorite word. If you're the smartest one in here, Lord have mercy, find you another room.
Yes.
And even in leadership, I was taught, and this is something I believe, you cannot be a good leader unless you can follow.
That's it.
Because there's always someone in front of you that can bring you to the next level. There's never anyone that is behind you that can take you to the next level.
That's right.
So if you're the only leader in the space, boy, you're limited.
Yeah, very much so.
You're limited.
Very much so. And those are the type of things where you like, now we were moving along, now we're getting stagnant. You know, and you're caught up in this situation where you're like, how do we go to the next level? How can we propel ourselves? But if no one knows who they are and knows where that vision is, then you're in a think tank that's not really thinking.
So I'm gonna pivot real quick, because we're gonna be running out of time pretty soon. So I'm getting ready to get in your personal life.
Okay.
So tell us about Michael Johnson, the personal, the man, outside of the insurance agency, outside of the government. Who is Michael Johnson?
Michael Johnson is a black man that loves his people first and foremost. He is a black man who has no hidden agendas. He loves his 3 children and his granddaughter. They are at the forefront of anything that I do. That is my motivation, is family. And for those that know me, they know that you don't have to be blood to be my family. And I hold that dear and true to my heart. And just to know that I am a person that wants the betterment for everyone. And in order for me to succeed, I need everyone else to succeed.
So, and correct me if I'm wrong, you're an active member of Pleasant Green?
Mount Pleasant.
Mount Pleasant.
Mount Pleasant Baptist Church.
Church.
Well, I'm getting back more active.
Okay.
I'm getting back more active.
You heard that, Pastor? You heard? You see
how
you see?
She got me.
Yeah, I'm sending him back. If not, I'm gonna come get him and bring him down to Centennial. Okay.
I would love to visit.
Oh, definitely. Please come and visit us.
Love to visit.
So you are now in your 2nd term.
Yes.
And I know that everybody's going to be interested in knowing what is your vision for the community now? What are you going to really sink your teeth in the next 2 years?
The next 2 years, everything that I'm doing is to lead us into a position to where we can have our own life and skills sort of like a community center that gives you everything that you would have in a VOTEC, plus so much more. We always have had a problem with transportation and education forever.
Forever. Yeah.
Okay. So if we both agree on that, then my reasoning behind that is that we need a brick and mortar that facilitates everything under one building. We need an old Walmart, an old Lowe's or Home Depot, something of that magnitude that we can have everyone under one building. We can not only keep a better eye on what's going on, they don't have to be transported from one brick and mortar to another brick and mortar in order to be trained or educated on these specific skill sets. So I think that's my end game. That's what I really want.
Well, I'm so glad to hear you say that because I'm very interested in something similar to that, but I have the perfect location, which is the old Martin Luther King Junior High School and Mary Homer Wheat campus.
I love it.
And just got to find the funding to renovate it. And I have the program. I have the education, the skill sets, and we can both do workforce development and small business development. And yes, so I'm going to need the state's help on getting that done. I'm sure the Kansas City School District wants that off their books. I'm sure somebody's going to hear this and go run and try to get that school.
Right.
But stay out of my lane.
Stay out of the school. Stay out of there.
Stay out of my lane.
That's for Kim.
Right.
I would love to help with that.
Wow.
I would love to assist you with that in any
definitely.
manner.
I want to thank you so much for coming on the show. We will be back. I'll have you back again, definitely, because we will do some work. Okay. I think it's important, Kansas City, that you understand, in order for us to rebuild this village, it's going to take like minds. And it's not to say that people who are in the mindset of the old and they're just there, it's not to say that they're right or wrong, but we have to be ready to pass the baton and to give our knowledge and our landmine knowledge to those that's standing in line to take over. And so we have Michael Johnson, who is dedicated, has always lived in his district and loves his district, loves his people, and loves the state of Missouri. And so we want to thank you. We want to say, what can we do to support you? Because that's something I think that the mistake that we make is we elect people into positions and then we leave you.
Right.
We leave you and say, get that fixed. But you have nobody behind you saying, we support what he's doing and this is what he needs to do. So let us know, how we can help, when we need to come to Jeff City. Okay. And be behind you on any bill that you need us to be behind you on.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that, and I will most definitely reach out to you and have you down in Jeff City. And what we're working on now is the initiative that you just spoke about at Martin Luther King Junior High School. I am so on board with that.
Okay, great.
Yes.
That's wonderful. So again, this is Speak Up. We want to thank Televida, who is the most fantastic production team. They have allowed me this platform from the beginning. They are always there. This is unapologetic, unhindered, and unleashed. Again, if you want to if you want to speak up on Speak Up, reach out. Let me know, and I will see you next week on Speak Up.